it's sometimes hard to believe and even remember what it was like shortly after I was molested as a child, and how I went from being a stick. I mean, I was a super thin child, and how I ended up going to consuming thousands and thousands of calories at a time. So stay tuned. Always hard to believe, and even to look back at it now and think about the fact that after I had been molested, and I was a stick when I was a kid, when I was just a young kid. And to think that, right after that summer when I was molested, I ended up really packing on the weight big time. And I'm surprised that my parents never really said anything to me other than, my mom would, continue to berate me at times because of my weight and my size. But yeah, I obviously for me, and the way I ended up dealing with my situation or whatever else, is that I ended up eating. Because again, food was always something that would love me and hold me close and not ridicule me and not, make me feel bad or inadequate or that kind of thing. And so I always kept it close to me. And what would happen is on the weekends, Saturday and Sunday mornings, I would get up like clockwork at like 5 to somewhere between 5 and 5:30 in the morning most of the time. And that would give me 3 or 4 hours to really pack in a lot of calories before my parents even woke up and realized what was going on. And your mom's always telling you, I know what you're doing. I can see you from the back of my head. But years and years later, I did ask her. I said, dude, were you really aware of what I was doing? And she said no. But honestly, I think a lot of it, I mean, how could you not? I'm sure you would smell all the food being cooked in the morning or whatever else. But of course, they're dead asleep on the other side of the house. So, you never really know, right? Maybe they really didn't. But I would get up in the morning and I would start watching like like a claymation kind of show or whatever, the Davy and Goliath, and I always loved that. So I would end up making, most of the time would probably be making like a couple of boxes of like Kraft macaroni and cheese in the morning, and I would eat all of that, and then I would have baking in the oven. I would have like a TV dinner, like a Hungry Man, 3-piece chicken with the, in the tray or whatever else, with the little apple pie and whatever else, the vegetables and whatever it is that they had in that one in particular. And then I would eat things like hot dogs or sausage or something like that, and I would eat that with rice. And so all of these things, I would end up cooking all of this stuff. Then I would end up doing the dishes and putting everything away. It's not even that I had them in the, sitting there drying. I had to dry it all, put it all away so that nobody would know. I would take all the trash outside, and so there was no evidence of my packaging and all of the different stuff that I was, the thousands and thousands of calories that I would put in such a short period of time. Even things like Hot Pockets or whatever it is, Dad would go to the commissary and he'd get, boxes of Hot Pockets, whatever else, and I would certainly eat a couple of them at a time, a couple boxes at a time, and each one had like two or four, maybe even some of them. I think they were two, though. I think they were two in a box. So I would end up eating like maybe 4 Hot Pockets also in that short 3.5 hour window or whatever it is I had before Mom would wake up. And and when she woke up, I was like, oh, what's for breakfast? Because again, I was packing it in big time. And it's one of those things too. I would lose the weight and I would start looking really good again, and somebody would mention, oh, you look amazing, you're looking great. And it would totally do the opposite for me. It would send me into another tailspin where it's like, I don't want people looking at me. I don't want people, touching me or getting close to me or anything like that. And so I would end up turning right back around. And even years later, knowing that that was going to happen, or contemplating the fact that that was a trigger of mine and that would send me into a tailspin, it didn't stop it from happening. I want to say, at least now, with being older and really being fully aware that it's a problem, and especially now that I've also finally forgiven my molester for what he did to me, and trying to continue to grow and get stronger and better. I would say that this time around is probably going to be a lot different than what it was in the past. But I know that, it's so hard to deal with. And like I was saying in the past, like even being aware of it wouldn't stop it from happening. So it's crazy how sometimes, again, all of these emotions and all of these issues or whatever else resurface, and it's really sometimes hard to deal with because, again, these are your old patterns, and these are the old things that you would continue to really depreciate your value and your life and your soul. And it's so hard, especially when you get caught up in the whole emotions of it, and you give up, quite frankly. You end up not caring about yourself, and that's a big detriment to your life. Because when you stop caring about yourself, that's when you allow the addictions, and whatever they are, right? It could be food, it could be alcohol, it could be drugs. You let all of that stuff happen to you, and you give caution to the wind, and you don't care. And it's not until after the binge, it's not until after you've had your fix, or whatever the case may be, and you start coming back to realization of what's going on and what happened, that you end up feeling bad again. And it continues to be that cycle of, you just continue to hurt yourself over and over again, which is really sad. But it was certainly something that I would do. And, it was that cycle that continued over and over again for years. And I can't say that every once in a while something might happen again that might send me into a tailspin or whatever else. But again, I'm so much more capable now, and really being aware of the situation and knowing that it's a problem or whatever else. And now also really caring about myself a lot more than I ever have before has made a huge difference. And so I certainly don't wish this on anybody. And the program that I'm working on is really something that I'm sure will help the world in time. But it's dealing with all of the issues and all of the problems, and really shedding light on the situation, and then offering help on how to overcome it all. So keep an eye on me, because I am going to continue to flourish and grow, get stronger, and build my armor up so that I can continue to help others bring light to their issues, and to help them get stronger and help them get better. Because, we all just need to be there for one another and help each other out and lift each other up. Because I've lost friends over the years, and I hate the fact that they couldn't deal with it. They couldn't deal with situations in life, and they gave up. And so I'm always trying to talk people off the ledge, because it's just so important to me to keep as many people here around me, my friends, the loves of my life, and my family, and everybody around me, as much as possible. So if you ever feel like you're teetering right there on the edge, please reach out. There are organizations that can help, and we certainly want to see you continue to be here because you have value, you have worth, and I love you, and I believe in you, and I know that we can all continue to get one day better. Have a great day. I love you all.